All right, we're here with Aaron Templeton, the winner of the 2013 KYA 3200 time trial. Before we talk about the race, let's kind of talk about your season. You know, obviously last fall, 7th at Nationals, All-American status, you know, tearing it up at Balboa. Coming to track, it seemed like you probably didn't hit the goals that you wanted to. So how did you kind of put that in the back of your mind going into like this past summer training-wise?
You know, it was a really good year, and it was kind of a breakout year for me. Pretty special to be able to go out and represent myself, or represent Tennessee and myself at Footlocker and everything. You know, had a great race there, and it was kind of, I think I let the kind of high emotions get to me, and I kind of let it build me up, and then I kind of went back down, and probably didn't train as hard as I should for track and everything. And you know, that was frustrating, and so I kind of came back this year trying to train hard. Struggled with a couple injuries earlier in the season, probably, you know, missed a couple weeks of training total. And so, you know, where I'm at right now, being able to still reach the goals that I set for myself at the beginning of the season, and still progressing, then I'm really happy with what I've been able to do. Really looking for a strong track season this year to be able to meet those goals, because I never really felt like I've had a really good track season, so.
Yeah, you've definitely established yourself as one of the all-time best cross-country runners in Tennessee. So, like this fall, you know, the times you ran, especially open up at Wendy's, how did it feel to kind of run the same time for the third time in a row at that course?
Yeah.
But at least this time you had competition in that race.
Yeah, it was pretty frustrating. I went in with a time goal more than a place goal. You know, I was going in thinking I wouldn't really get challenged, and I came, and then Patrick Sheehan started to you know, challenge me that first mile and everything. And so I thought that, you know, I'd back off a little bit, make sure I had a little bit for that last mile. So I sat back a little bit. The second mile was way slow on what I was wanting to run, and you know, I probably let him getting on my butt scare me a little bit too much. I should have just kept going for my time goal, and I think that I would have been able to probably hit it, but also just drop him. But you know, he put up an incredible fight, crazy race for him. Really stout runner. Came, you know, it's from last year. He came out a lot, so you know, it was a really good race, and I ended up out kicking him and everything. But you know, to run the exact same time 3 times in a row, it was a little bit tough. But you know, I'm just trying to look forward to next week and try to get those times back down.
Yeah, I lost a bet to my roommate over that because I thought you'd run like 1 second faster.
Yeah.
So then, like the next week after that, or several weeks after that, you went down to Cherokee for the KIL. I mean, I know that's not a huge prestigious meet, but I know last year you dropped a really fast time there.
Yeah.
On a different course this year.
Yeah.
I know last year for a lot of people that really was the telltale sign that you were the real deal. But it seemed more this year, dropping the 15-16 at Victor Ashe Park with people out there aren't aware. That's a course very similar to our state course, one of the toughest courses in Tennessee. Is that when did the season? Did you really kind of get a lot? I mean, I'm sure you had confidence coming into it, but was there a point this season that you kind of realized, you know, I'm fully committing, or my goals are getting a lot bigger?
Well,
or did you kind of set those before the season?
I usually set my goals before the season, and those have stuck with me this season. You know, I started out with my goals, and I'm keeping those goals. But yeah, I think it was a little bit topsy-turvy early on in the season, because I was scared due to the injuries that I had and everything. So I really honestly thought I was behind. And you know, I went to Wendy's and I ran the exact same time, so that was frustrating. And then I went to KIL, and it was slower than last year because of the course and everything. And so, you know, not being able to see an improvement in time there was really frustrating. So I kind of got scared, and so I was like, you know what, you need to relax, just go out there and get the region time. Went out there and ran the best I could and felt incredible at region. So I kind of gained confidence from that. It was kind of like okay, I know that I still have this. You know, trying to just build off of confidence from last year, basically.
So you had solid times at the season, a fantastic region race. You know, we can have 4 state, but most people don't know is that this is probably the thickest year in Tennessee history. Brentwood High School out of Middle Tennessee had 3 guys in the low 15s, 2 guys at 15 flat at Great American that you weren't able to face head to head during the season. Right. So how exactly did you kind of go into the state meet knowing that it wasn't going to be like last year, that you had guys that were nationally ranked or on the watch list? You know, Brentwood High School, arguably the best 1-2-3 punch in the nation.
Yeah. You know, going into the state meet, it was different because I knew what those guys were capable of, but I also knew what I was capable of, especially after regions. And I basically went through the entire week telling myself I'm going to win. I can't go back and then lose a second title. It's been 3 years in the Templeton name. I can't just let that go. And I just told myself the entire week, I'm gonna win. I never really worried about it, and that was kind of my strategy. And I just went out there, and I went to the lead and never looked back. I knew that if I ran what I needed to run, I would beat them. So that's kind of just what I did.
Yeah, it seemed that at that race, I remember being there. That first 2 miles. I know they were with you. Obviously, you laid the hammer down the last mile and made them all hurt. But how were you kind of wrapping your hair in that first 2 miles of that race? When they were kind of sitting on you the whole time.
Me and my coach were talking, and basically we knew that they'd be with me up to that point. We knew that they would be on my butt the entire time. So. I was prepared for that, and then right at the 2 mile, I kind of made a surge, got about 5 meters on them. By the time I made it to the top of the hill, about another 800 meters in, then I was pretty much at a 25 meter gap, and I knew from that point I just got to finish. So
yeah,
that's how I kind of dealt with that.
So yeah, that was a very dominating performance to watch. How did you kind of take that feeling of, man, I just ran one of the fastest times in Tennessee history? How'd you kind of take that in these past 2 weeks of training leading up to this time trial?
I've been just trying to build that confidence up. This is a big meet for me last year that kind of gave me that confidence, knowing that
Exactly.
I can go into Footlocker and I definitely have a chance to make it to nationals. So that was a big confidence booster for me. And I honestly had no idea that was the fastest time on Tennessee soil.
I didn't either. I think it's either 3 or 4 all-time Tennessee period.
Yeah.
Yet to be verified.
I had no clue that was that until I was 2 laps in. Marty said that was 57 or whatever. So I was like, okay. So that that it was special for me today. It really was. But it felt good. A little bit tough conditions, pretty humid out here, but I felt good. I felt smooth, so I'm really confident going into
It's got to be kind of a home court advantage here, especially being your home track, home course. So, at what point in this time trial tonight? I mean, other than the pacemakers, did you dictate that they were going to go at 4:28? Is that kind of what you requested?
Yeah, I was the one that requested to go out 4:27, 4:28, and he let me go basically with I guess 100 meters to go within the mile, and. It was good. I sped up and made sure I got into that second mile going pretty fast.
You dropped like a 63 or 64 there.
I kind of slacked off the second lap of the second mile, which probably was kind of what took off probably a couple seconds off my time. I had some stomach trouble today. Definitely, probably should have ate later.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I'm confident. I'm feeling good. I know that I can throw down faster in the last few laps, so that's what I'm focusing on.
So going into McAlpine, I know last year obviously you ran good here. That gave you a lot of confidence going to the South. What's your plan for the South meet? I mean, obviously you want to qualify, but do you have a specific plan for that race? Like, are you shooting for that big win down there?
Yeah, I'm definitely shooting for the win. It's kind of tough to say exactly what I'm trying to do because I'm not trying not to give anything away basically, but I'm definitely going for the win. I'm not gonna lie about that. I think it'd be dumb not to.
Definitely.
But I'm gonna try to get some pretty big times.
So go back to Balboa Park and get that All-American status again. If not bigger goals than that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's there's a lot of young runners out here. They're probably gonna watch this video. It's your senior season. Signing with Furman. Well, how's that feel to sign with Furman? You excited for that?
It was honestly. I think that was another factor at the beginning of the season. It was pretty tough. Being able to just not being able to, but just going through the season, just kind of having that decision. It was honestly like. It was physically hard. Like, honestly, it just felt weighed down the entire season. And just to be able to get that off my chest and be able to go there with, such a great guy like Quentin and Mark Hadley, then basically, it was such a relief. I'm just so excited to be there and everything. So just having that decision off me, it's just, it's stress gone. I'm just ready to run. So I'm just being able to focus on times and everything. It's been great.
So what kind of advice would you like to give out to the your younger runners out there as they kind of watch you witness probably a once in a generational type runner? What kind of advice do you have to them? I mean, you didn't start running until you were really a freshman,
Yeah, I started running my freshman year. Basically, the thing I like to say to the younger kids that ask me about advice is just to set your goals high, but set your standards high, but set your goals even higher. You're not gonna succeed if you're not gonna. If you never put yourself out there. So you got to be able to have the confidence to just go out there and get it and just do everything that you can. Just put your passion into the sport. That's pretty much it.
All right. Well, thank you, and congratulations on the fast time, and look forward to see what you do in the next couple weeks.
Thanks.